Tonight, 11 Investigates brings you a story you have to see because it could happen to you. People are charged every day with crimes they just didn't commit, and the consequences can and have ruined lives. We asked, was justice really served in this months-long investigation? You'll only see here on WTOL 11.
Yes, ma'am. Do you have an officer in the area of South Point?
I can get one over there, sir. What's going on?
I was door dashing that night.
They're constantly crossing the center line going south on Glen.
Because it was Christmas break.
And you said it was a black. What kind of car? I'm sorry.
Black Ford Escape.
I remember it was a Monday night because I'm a big Miami Dolphins fan. And they were playing Monday night, so I wanted to catch the second half.
It was December 27th, 2021. Rob Schaefer, who is a transgender person, was making his last DoorDash delivery of the night from McDonald's to an apartment complex in Defiance. Just as he pulled in, he realized he was getting pulled over.
I didn't know what I was doing wrong.
Defiance police officer Whitney Shaw's dash cam video shows the explanation she gave to Rob.
So the reason I stopped you is because we had a complaint that you were driving all over the roadway, that you were going left to center a couple times. So I just want to make contact with you, make sure you're okay.
I'm just doing DoorDash. You got the wrong person.
No, we were given your vehicle description, a black Ford Edge, as well as the plate.
I don't know who they're talking about.
Okay.
All I'm doing is DoorDash.
The officer never tells Rob during the stop she saw him do anything wrong and continued to cite only a caller.
They said you went left to center several times. That's what you're aware of? Okay, have you had anything to drink tonight?
I don't drink.
Rob says he became increasingly upset when it became clear he was suspected of drinking and driving.
I was getting agitated because I don't drink or do drugs. I never have.
Officer Schock then proceeds to administer a field sobriety test.
I'm going to take a look at your eyes if you're okay with that. It would show me if there's any alcohol in your system or anything, okay? You're moving your head still, just your eyes. I know it's difficult. Do you need a break for a second?
No, you're pissing me off
Okay.
because I haven't been drinking.
'Cause I'm gonna-
Give me a damn breathalyzer. I'll pass that.
Well, I don't know that you're under just the influence of alcohol. You're under some sort of impairment, but I don't believe it's alcohol. I agree with you. I don't think it's alcohol.
After more field sobriety tests, Rob is arrested for OVI.
Okay.
There's no excuse for this.
Go ahead and turn around. Place your hands behind your back for me.
Rob was taken to the Defiance Police Department for a urine test, where he says he was strapped to a chair. During that time, he says 2 officers made derogatory remarks about his gender.
I heard another male officer say that, they're going to have fun with him tonight at CCNO because I'm the closest thing to a woman some of them will ever see.
Rob lost his jobs at DoorDash and as a Paulding school bus driver because of the OVI. He thought about suicide and even made the decision to move to Toledo, but could not secure an apartment, again because of the OVI charge on his background check. The local newspaper reported his arrest, and the case was on its way to court until 4 grueling months later when Rob finally received the results of his urinalysis. 0.0 for alcohol or drugs. The case was quietly dismissed.
Okay, have you had anything to drink tonight?
I don't drink.
Rob had been telling the truth. He was not under the influence that night. But he'd already lost his reputation, his jobs, and his will to live.
Basically, sorry, we got it wrong. We messed up your life, but sorry, we got it wrong.
Not only did they get it wrong, Rob thinks he was targeted because he's a transgender person. He filed citizen complaints against Officer Schock and the other responding officer, Zachary Higgins, as well as prosecutor Troy Essex. 11 Investigates asked for the personnel file for Officer Schock. In 2 reviews, she received very good and satisfactory marks in various categories. However, in December of 2020, her reviewer noted under areas that need improvement, confidence and knowledge while conducting standard field sobriety tests during an OVI arrest.
When I talk to the prosecutor that's arguing,
We asked a defense attorney about the stop. He points to a problem when Officer Schock gave Rob that sobriety test by checking his eyes.
I'm going to take a look at your eyes if you're okay with that.
There is precedent that addresses this. It states bloodshot eyes is not enough for an officer to ask a driver to perform field sobriety tests.
In addition, we asked for all OVI arrests in Defiance between February and July. 9 officers contributed to 24 arrests. But records show Officer Schock made no OVI arrests during that time. The city attorney provided no response when we asked why. There are also concerns about the reliability of the person who called 911 that night in December. 5 months before the incident, Timothy Chase Eubanks Bruce was arrested by Defiance police on a felony child endangerment charge. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 3 years in prison.
Hi, how are you doing today?
11 Investigates also asked the city attorney about the traffic stop and the behavior of the officers. Quote, "The city handles allegations by the public against public employees with the utmost concern. The Defiance Police Department and the City Law Department performed a thorough investigation into these allegations. The investigation found the allegations against city personnel to be unsubstantiated and unfounded."
They're constantly crossing the center line going south on
Rob believes the call was made because he is transgender. Bruce denied that when asked by 11 Investigates.
it is illegal, one, to give false information to a police officer or a dispatcher, which especially when there's an element of a hate crime or a hate aspect to it.
11 Investigates also contacted the Ohio State Highway Patrol, which took 4 months to process Rob's urinalysis. A spokesperson says the processing times have improved since Rob's arrest, with the hiring of 2 new chemists. Davis still sees that as too long.
In today's day and age, when we have modern science and smartphones and better technology, they ought to be able to turn that around much faster
We're going to go back in here.
because of the damage, the incredible damage it can cause to an innocent person.
72 Station Log 1 in custody.
Rob was eventually able to get an apartment in Toledo and got 2 new jobs after the charges were dropped, but says that OVI is still lurking on his background check. Now, attorney Mark Davis recommends if you get pulled over, here's what you're going to do. You're going to turn the lights on in your car, open the windows, and put your hands at 10 and 2 so officers know you're not up to anything. Be polite and cooperative. You are not required to consent to a search or field sobriety test. All of that could be used as evidence against you. You are also not required to submit to a breathalyzer, but if you know you haven't been drinking, taking one could be in your favor.